What's going on, everyone? This is Ben. Welcome back to UnchartedX. A little different sort of a video for the second channel here today. It's something that I've been asked to do a few times. I get lots of questions about it, but and given that I'm packing up to get out of here for several weeks off to Egypt and Turkey, I thought it'd be a good time to do a little studio tour. People often ask me about my setup and what's in the background and what's on my shelves over there and all that sort of stuff. So I thought I'd run you through some of that. Also the computer, the stream setup, the editing suite and all that type of thing that I use. And I'm gonna do that right now with this little camera here. So as you can see, I am actually just filming with my little phone here on the handheld, and we will go through and look at basically what's going on in the studio here. So this is everything that's behind the camera that you don't normally see. This is kind of the view over here that you typically do see. As you can see, I'm currently packing up, getting ready to go off to Egypt in a couple of days here, just getting my shit together. But let's do the PC stuff first, I guess. So as you can see, it's the desk setup. It's a triple monitor setup. These monitors are on arms. They're not on the stand, so you can move them around. I find it really useful to have multiple screens. I've just always been that sort of a computer guy. It helps me out quite a bit. The PCs, I think these are also 165 hertz. I'm not sure what the brand is of these things. MSIs? LGs. They're LG monitors. Okay, there you go. Decent monitors, obviously good for gaming too, but I just like to have the same monitor across the board. That helps me quite a bit. You can see we'll get into the camera, microphone, and all the audio setup here in a minute, but let's talk about the computer first. So back here, two PCs. This is my main PC, the one in the back. It does have all the fancy lights, but it's the glass case is facing away from us. You'll note the professional wiring job that I have here. I was a network professional for many years. This is clearly professional wiring. However, the PC, I do try to stay on top of the tech cycles more or less. This is an Intel 14900, 64 gigabytes of RAM, an NVIDIA 4080 video card. All the goodies, the M2 SSDs. I've got huge hard drives in it that I use for my working directory. Essentially, it's just a beefy computer, nice 1000-watt power supply. This is my old PC here that gets used for streaming. Also does some rendering jobs when I need my other computer, when I want to render something in the background and still use my other computer. I do still use this for rendering. It's what is this? Is an AMD system. I think it's a Ryzen 9 Threadripper something, and I can't remember the graphics card. It's like a, geez, I don't know. It's a 5070, 5700 XT, or is that numbers too high? I don't know. It's 5700 XT. I think is the graphic card. Now it's a few years old now, but it still does a good job. It actually does the stream audio. It does a lot of the soundboard, which I use here. This is an Ableton Launchpad 2. I think this is that I have an application that I use for the soundboard on my streams. So in terms of backups, all of these systems, by the way, internet, you can see up here, I recently switched out from a Netgear Nighthawk router, which is a Wi-Fi combined unit, to a dedicated gigabit Ethernet router. Replaced the Nighthawk, which was failing, with just a wireless access point. I do also have outdoor access points, just given we live on a bit of land out here. I like to have Wi-Fi signal around outside if I'm driving around on a tractor or something. And Starlink as a backup, but this is connected to a microwave dish on the roof. We have a microwave service to a local ISP. There's no broadband here. There's no fiber. There's no DSL or anything like that. I have worked with this ISP for quite some time to get the best deal I can from them, most bandwidth. I'm up to about 100 megabits, which is really quite sufficient, and it's symmetrical, so I generally get about 100 up as well, which is really cool. Also here, a temporary or portable hard drive that I think I've just finished updating to take a lot of my work with me to Egypt. This is like a 5 terabyte hard drive. I bring a lot of my footage so I can continue to work while I'm away on my laptop. This runs into an 8-port gigabit PoE router from 3Com. I used to work in the network world. I've actually got a cupboard full of this sort of stuff, a lot of switches and things. I've probably got a couple hundred ports of Ethernet. Not that I need it, but it's just sitting in my cupboard from the old days, the old job. And then in terms of all my footage, I have a working hard drive in this that's like huge, big multi-terabyte drive that I just, working from a drive in the computer to do, editing and stuff is obviously way more efficient than working over the network. However, I do have two Synology disk stations, NAS's, network attached storage boxes. These are independently redundant internally. They can have failures of 1 or 2 hard drives each, and they're mirrored to each other, more or less. I have scripts that handle all of this. So my data is on my PC primarily, and then it's backed up to these two network attached storage devices. And then I also have an external hard drive that I keep in a safe, that's in a fireproof safe. So, hopefully there shouldn't be any event where I actually end up losing all of my data and my footage and things like that. So that's the setup here for the network and the internet. Suits me, works okay. I actually built this desk. I built this desk from Red Oak. It's a stand-up desk. You can wind it up and down. There's the handle over there. I also built this little side table that we plop these computers on. In terms of the audio setup and everything else, I do run everything through audio interfaces. So this is a Volt 276 with the nice 276 compressor, which I don't really use anymore because it deadens the mic too much in terms of volume. This is connected on output to obviously some very nice headphones. These are the DT 1990 Pros from Beyerdynamics. Highly recommend, if you spend as much time as I do sitting on a computer and using headphones, you want something that's comfortable and you can wear all day. This is exactly what these are. They're very expensive, but they're very, very good. Highly recommended, these headphones. But also, the nice thing about these units is that while you have a headphone dial here, and here's your headphone volume, you also have a monitor volume. So I do have a couple of these JBL 6-inch studio monitors. There's another one back here that you can just, say you're listening on headphones, you want to hear it out loud, you just twist this knob down here and away you go. You can listen on headphones and on out loud at the same time, which is really pretty cool. You can also do direct monitoring, so I use that a lot when I'm streaming, so I can hear my own voice or I'm recording. So the microphone that is connected to this is the standard that everyone uses, it seems like, the Shure SM7Bs on a Rode mic stand that is attached into the desk. I had to cut a piece out of my desk here to attach this. Speaking of the desks in the room, if I just back up a bit, so this used to be a craft room. So there used to be, see all these built-ins here, this horrid color that they all are, they extended all the way along this wall. And then on this back wall here, you actually see the line where it was, the paint. There used to be a big giant fold down table. This was a craft room. A lady used to do sewing in here. And in fact, the thing that was here before, it had like a pop-up sewing machine, like a cutout. You could literally, the sewing machine would go into the desk and then pop up again. And I just cut that off and threw all that out, got rid of that table. So I wanted a bit more space in here when we bought the place. But really custom home designed in the 80s. I do like it. All the shelves and stuff that are over here were all part of it. Obviously the lighting. You've got light rails and stuff up there. I have a big lamp up here. But yeah, so back to the mic. Standard mic boom. Excellent mic. I have used other mics in the past, but this is basically the standard. It connects through a cloud lifter that you can kind of see tucked away in there just to give it a bit more boost. The second PC actually also has an audio interface. That's this thing under here, Scarlett 2i2. Comes out of there, it feeds into this guy via this cable. So I can mix in the soundboard and the output from this other PC into my mic line for streaming. Basically just for soundboard, and then in games just to grief with a soundboard, do that sort of funny stupid stuff. I can do all of that with that input running into my mic line. Works pretty well. And in terms of the camera setup, the streaming setup and recording setup, you would have seen this in the last video. This is it here. It sits on its own dedicated tripod behind. This gives it the angle. I can't really shoot it between these monitors, unfortunately, so this angle is a little downward. But it's a Sony Alpha R2 camera that is hooked up to a teleprompter system. So this teleprompter is really cool. You can see the reflection in the glass. So you put an iPad down here, you add your script to it, there's a little button and a little Bluetooth control. It flips it and you get this reflected script, so you can look at the monitor from the seating position and read it, read the script from straight off the screen here. So yeah, and then a couple lights. I usually run both these lights, the big ring light and everything else. Moving around to the other stuff, there is a giant big TV back here that's connected to the second computer, although I don't really use it. I just remote desktop to that thing. The corner of shame of all just the documents and current bunches of crap that end up on a desk that I can hide from my stream. That's where all that goes. Vitamins, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually collecting gear to pack, and I'll run you through some of this. What is my packing list for going away on a trip like this, where it's, I think like 6 or 7 weeks I'll be away. So I need to have stuff where I can continue to work. But let's look at these shelves first. This one doesn't really make it into the stream quite so often, but it's just full of my little knickknacks and stone pieces and little things that I've collected or bought over the years from various places. So there's a bunch of, like there's some pyrite. I think this is fool's gold. That's been gifts that people have given me as well. Little elongated skulls, or a mosquito back there. That's a joke someone sent me as a, like, because I nearly died from malaria that time. There's some cheap Egyptian figurines, some Minoan pottery. This stuff was washed up on the shore, was gradually just being eaten away on the island of Rhodes from this ancient Minoan civilization. It's probably a couple thousand years old, that pottery. And if you zoom in on this, I've got little fossils and things. You see the fossil there on that guy right there? That's a thing that my father found actually in northeastern Queensland, or central Queensland rather. That, just as an ancient fossil, little bits and pieces from all over the Giza Plateau, little bits of flint. There's some obsidian from Kilimanjaro in there, some gifts from previous bosses, a viewfinder, which was a funny story that has to do with Randall Carlson that I keep up here. Obviously some pyramids, some Göbekli Tepe pillars, and then, some artwork from a local little girl at the Amaramuru Gateway that I bought. And, this, whatever this is that I've had for a million years, it feels like. On these shelves, which is pretty much the background to the videos, these are other things. This is really the display for the background, obviously the YouTube 100,000 subscriber plaque. But these are the vases. So these are all of these scanned vases. Matt Bell was kind enough to send me essentially a printed copy of most all of his vases at the time. He's got a lot more than this now, but this was the majority of his collection, at least of what he'd scanned at the time. So these are the main ones that we talk about. This is the OG vase. That's actually Adam Young's vase, but that's the thin-walled vase. That's the spinner vase. But you have the beehive vase, the other sort of plain ones with no lug handles, the upside-down vase, some of the larger size. These are all true to size. So there's some bigger ones back here, the bag vase back here. This is actually a real vase, not a real ancient one, but one that was actually made from stone by Yusuf's brother, Jacob, I believe, with handmade power tools, which is very cool. And then probably my favorite thing up here, favorite gift from, who was this from? Josh, what was his last name? Arkworld Comics. Josh Blaylock. He gave me gave me this thing at the Cosmic Summit. It's a hovering pyramid. It's magnetic. It's really cool. It just spins, air resistance slows it down eventually, but it can sit there and spin forever. Carolee Poker also from the Petrie Museum. They scanned Petrie's core number 7. He printed out a 3D print for me, put my name on it, and gave that to me in Egypt when I was there in December, which was very nice of him. So that's a true to size Petrie core number 7. Maybe that way up's better. There are a few fragments of actual vases that have been given to me. I wish I had a real one, I just don't. That's pretty much it for that shelf. I've got some more of these. People have just given me different flavors and different prints of the OG vase that are up here. Also some other spinner vases and things. Dave Fitzgerald gave me a couple of these cases of arrowheads and points. I think these are from, where is this from? Somewhere in the Midwest. He collects them. He's got a lot of them. But he did send me, it's a lovely man, Dave. He came on trips with these. He's been a supporter of mine for a long time. But sent me these beautiful collections of arrowheads and tool tips from the Americas, which I'm very proud of and thankful that he sent them to me. Of course, what man cave is complete without a sword? This is a legit sharp one. can be used, although I haven't probably taken it down or played with it in years at this point. Who cares? Also, you need the toys occasionally, like a nice thermal optical viewfinder. I live out in the sticks, so it's always nice to see what's running around in the yard with a thermal camera, which is kind of cool. And then on the main desk, this is all the charging station and everything else, but I have, Michelangelo's slaves. So these are the I guess the precursors to David. I really like the slaves. I've seen them in real life. They're impressive, so I have a print of those over here. And obviously the charging station. We'll come back to most of this in a minute when we talk about packing for trips. But also, while I'm here looking at the ground, all of the computer system, the internet and everything is also connected through two UPSs, so two APC UPSs. So I can do graceful shutdowns, keep the internet running for several days, just with the battery power if I need to. It will keep going, and we have generators if we need it. And then over in this corner is my sim racing setup, my VR setup. The Cajon, which is coming with me to Egypt. It needs its own bag. It's a pain in the butt, but I bring it on these trips. I do like to do the sim racing. I built this sim racing rig myself. It's made out of steel. I do a lot of welding and that type of thing. I've got a barn full of stuff. But I had a lot of scrap steel, but I bought the steel for the base, cut it up, and made the whole thing. I had an old Jeep seat still sitting on its rails. So if you look at the rails are actually welded onto that, so the seat can go forward and back. I bought after using the Logitech stuff for a while, I did go into the SimMagic gear, the Alpha wheelbase with the GT Pro, whatever it is, the wheel that lights up. It's really cool little setup. I enjoy sim racing, and I used to use the triple screens for it, but now I pretty much do it in VR. My wife bought me one of these Quest 3s, the Oculus, or the Meta now, Quest 3s, with the little lens cleaner and the handhelds. I've also lately been getting into, what do you call it? Let me center this thing again. Been getting into VTOL VR, so the flight sim stuff. It's so cool in VR. I actually take this chair here because I can lift up the armrest on it, and I park it right in the center here, and I use these handhelds, and I sit there and been playing a little bit with friends, like doing the VTOL VR thing. I really enjoy it. Anyway, that's some of the game hobbies. On the wall, no band posters or anything fun. It's Ice Age floods in the Pacific Northwest. So these posters you can get, and I bought these from the visitor center up in the Channeled Scablands at Dry Falls, the ranges there. They've got a great selection of posters you can put up. So this shows you the extent of the ice during the glacial maximum, right? You've got the Puget Lobe, the Okanagan Lobe. You can see Glacial Lake Columbia, Glacial Lake Missoula. And then obviously the Channeled Scablands, right? So this is where that flood went as it went down into the Columbia and then out to sea. And then where the towns are in modern day today. So really part of the Channeled Scablands stuff. And then I have some geology charts over here in terms of rocks and minerals. Just breaking it down, reference points for me. I'm trying to learn more and more about it. And lastly up here, yes, those are VHS tapes. They have been there since we moved into this house nearly 10 years ago and haven't touched them. Actually, that's not true. I did start digitizing them for a while. And along the lines of the headphones, if you're going to spend a lot of time sitting on your butt in front of the computer, get a nice chair. I got a nice chair. I forget what this is, but it's a very nice chair. Quite expensive, but that's what it is. It's one of those things, right? You gotta buy the good thing, so you only have to buy it once. All right, so towards the back of the room, obviously in the middle here I've got some LEDs, but this is all tech stuff. I do like to show people this. Let me back this out a bit, just to show you, like, I am a network professional. Who wouldn't be a professional with this many cables? I'm one of those guys who hoards the cables. So if you need the cable, occasionally you get to use one of these and it feels really good. Like, oh yeah, I have that cable. It's in here. If you need 1,000 power cables for stuff, I got you covered. Also, some original Star Wars figures still in the box. This is, look at this. I love this thing. According to Gary Bueller from Nerdrotic, this is worth a little bit of money. The Star Wars, this is the original from Glendon Pharmacy in Australia for $5. This is the original Han Solo encased in carbonite with the collector's coin edition. And it just lives there. So, same sort of thing in all these built-ins. Most of these other cupboards over here are empty. There's some stuff in these drawers, but who cares? In here's like computer stuff. Oh, I didn't finish on the PC, did I? Like old PCs, spare mice. I do like this mouse. They don't make them anymore because I'm a lefty. SteelSeries Sensei 310. So when I knew they were going out of business or they would stop making these, I just bought a bunch of them. So I have a couple spare ones there. And yeah, so the Sensei 310 and then an old, slightly busted with the peg underneath it, mechanical keyboard that I've used forever. One of these days I'll get a proper one. But as I said, more ports of Ethernet, old computers, old graphics cards, all the boxes from my current build. I like to keep the boxes from my current build up here. Things like spare headphones, old mice, keyboards. You know how it goes. It's the shit that you just never throw out that you should probably throw out. So on the back here, djembe. We played. My drum sets are all over in the barn these days. Never fear, that is not a scary gun. That is an air rifle. That's a 22 caliber air rifle, Benjamin air rifle with, you can see the pellets for it there, with a night vision scope on it that I used to shoot rats. When we had chickens, the rats would come. So going out at night and shooting the rats, kind of fun, and gets rid of them. So the laptop setups over here, when I need to do some work and have some actual desk space, that when I'm using, like say the other desk is full of crap, as it currently is, I can spread out a bit down here and work on the laptop with this computer, with this monitor. This laptop is going with me to Egypt. It's an Asus ROG Zephyr or something like that. It's got a NVIDIA 330 something graphics card in it, so it can do rendering. I can also play games, not that I do much of that. I have a Celestron 9-inch telescope hiding back here. A lot of the sort of travel gear sits back here as well. Things like a little egg microscope, USB camera, spotting scope, spare phone cables, USB, like the USB drives, all that sort of jazz is all back here. Microphone stuff, old microphones, so shotgun microphones, DR40, fluffy stuff. If ever I want to take that camera down and take it with me, even though it's bulky, I'll have all the lenses and things for it back here as well. Another air rifle up there on this shelf, but probably the interesting part, I have shit all over the desk here, just drum stuff, like cajon stuff, tripod stuff. But here's my little library, at least the books. I have a bigger one, but this is the stuff that I keep essentially in here to reference and to have access to all the time. God damn it, this thing keeps spinning around. Stop it. No, that's not what I wanted either. 1, 2, 3. Spin around. I film, you think I know how to use this because this is my primary filming tool as well on site. So this is the real fun end of this. This is the expensive book category. This is the Poznański's Tiwanaku, all 4 volumes and 2 books. I do have, interestingly, let me put this down so we can look at it. I do have an original Petrie. This is A History of Egypt. The, what is that? 17th and 18th dynasties. Flinders Petrie. So it's an original 1883. Oh, yep. In fact, in here's like some articles. You can actually see a card here that is dated to, what is it, 1883? Yeah, 1883 down there. And so somebody sent me this as a gift. I greatly appreciate it. I really do. It's a really special kind of thing to have. I also have another book. I think this is from the 1800s. This is Poznański's, not Poznański's, this is H.S. Bellamy. Move this back a bit. Yeah, Built Before the Flood, H.S. Bellamy. Really cool book. It's kind of out there, but it does have some interesting information about, what are we talking about strand lines. And then a recent purchase is these 3 books over here. Let me put that back. Egyptian Stone Vessels, Pre-Dynastic Period to Dynasty 3, and there's actually 3 volumes of those me put these back here and then I'll pick up the camera again. So yeah, so those 3 volumes here, the same color are the Stone Vessels books as the Petrie. This actually is the Sphinx Uncovered, very expensive and out of print pamphlet from the British Museum, some stuff they found. And then of course you've got your Hancock, you've got your Dunn, you've got your everything else, Lloyd Pye, some more Egyptian, Hongshan jade treasures if you really want it, some, Budge's Egyptian hieroglyphic dictionary down here as well, Hamlet's Mill, Cosmic Serpent, Origins of DNA and the Origins of Knowledge. Highly recommended book. If you've never read it, read it. Doesn't take long. And then more travel shit, adapters, just stuff. Guitars, printers, other drone. Like this is there's a little drone. This is a big gimbal for my big camera. Not that I really use it anymore. Got a lot of gear that sort of sits into that category of I don't really use it much anymore. Let's see. That's about it. There's a green screen folded up back here that I built. I put these mounts up on the roof, so you basically put a curtain rod through it and hangs a green screen behind you, and that works pretty well for a green screen. Now let's talk about the kit that I take while I'm traveling. Obviously I'm filming this on my phone and I'm using this gimbal which I think popped up early in the video. So it's like a Z1, yeah, 5S smooth. And then I obviously will be bringing the laptop. Very key piece of equipment there is the laptop. But let's look at some of the other junk that I'm bringing. I actually am bringing this time. I'm bringing the virtual reality headset because I actually think from a productivity perspective, you can work in that with triple screens. And it's just much better than trying to work on a laptop screen. Although occasionally what I have done in the past is I do always bring a HDMI cable because I'm always plugging into the hotels, the TVs in hotels, and using that as a second monitor. But this is generally what goes in the backpack along with the laptop and the stuff I always keep on me. These are like a couple of bandanas that I finally got added to my merch store that I bought, and they're going to Yusuf as gifts. A little Bluetooth keyboard just so I can sit on my bed, and along with the mouse I have this Aero lightweight mouse that plugs in, great little thing. Obviously for power, need your travel adapter. For Europe I also use a 4-port portable extension board, so I can just use one adapter and then use my regular plugs for everything else. Couple lights, so this is like a nice light for filming. This is like a very bright, really cool little pocket flashlight. Spare pair of Bluetooth headphones. This is a Bluetooth transmitter, so you can plug this into any audio source like in the airline, or maybe if you're using a radio and you can plug this in and then transmit to your Bluetooth. My microphone setup is a newer CM28. These things are really cool. I really enjoy these, use these a lot lately. Filming along with the camera, I just take a Pocket Osmo these days. Just so between my phone, which is a Pixel 7 Pro, probably time to upgrade really, and this Pocket Osmo, that's enough where I can get really good quality footage, film. This has a zoom lens, everything. This is a 65 watt USB-C power adapter. So it charges things really fast, also works on planes. So normally if you have a laptop like mine that sucks a lot of power, you can't power it on a plane. But you can juice your laptop using this, which won't trip the breakers on planes, which is nice. So you can run a laptop for many hours on a plane. Let's see, battery backup, so battery, power tank. We are doing a lot of diving on this next trip. We're going to be diving at the Red Sea, also at Alexandria. So I got my Sunto Mosquito dive watch with a compass, 2 extra batteries, a GoPro that I can take underwater. I don't really use it for anything except diving. And then, cables, like I said, this is just charging cables for different things. HDMI cable, my little bag of goodies, presentation stick with a laser, just so you can flip slides because I do presentations, spare batteries. And this just has adapters and my SD cards and a cleaning lens and a Sharpie and just, USB keys and SD card readers and stuff like that in there. So that's it. It's really not a lot of gear for such a long time away, but it lets me do everything I need to do, and I'm capable of working, and I can fit it all into a backpack. So I quite like that setup. I used to take an iPad as well, but really no need to do that these days. And, you know, that's about it, I think, for the studio tour. So, let's go back to the film. Hello, screen. Let's see, we'll pull it up so you can see me. Hello. Hello. All right, so here's the, Pixel 7 Pro. And this is the gimbal that I use for it. That works pretty well. I mean, I like it. It's packs down. It's not as compact as the DJI one, but it has a better range of motion. And the battery on it lasts forever. So I can run this. I can hook those microphones right into it as well. So we can do field recording, stuff like that. It's really cool. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little studio tour. I am a couple days away from leaving here. I'm going to try to get this uploaded to the second channel before then, but expect to see some videos out of me while I'm overseas as well. I do take that, along with that hard drive, I mean, I have then pretty much all my material, and I can edit on that laptop and let it run and process videos. So that's the plan, and we'll see how it goes. But other than that, I hope you guys are all well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.